I want to share a story with you about trees, humans, and ants. It was a summer day recently, and I was walking into the city cemetery in Lecce, Italy. As I'm walking down the main promenade, I hear this creaking noise, a little creaking off to the side, but it doesn't sound like all the other noises in the area. It's got a much greater resonance to it. It's like it pulls at my soul a little bit. And it feels very intentional. It's not really patterned with the wind. And I notice eventually that it's coming from this tree. So I go and sit down next to it. And a few moments later, I hear appreciation and a welcoming from this tree. Now, this isn't my first time having a conversation with a tree, so you may be shocked, but I wasn't that shocked in the moment. And I just sit there for a minute, and the tree says, we're in touch with trees from your part of the world, and we understand it's very different there. So thank you for coming here. And I'm from the US, so she's aware, which is surprising to me, that I'm from somewhere else and acknowledging the differences. And I ask her what her name is, and her name is Teresa. Teresa has 3 major points from our conversation that I want to share with you that really have stuck with me in all the days since. The first one was about being in the cemetery. She says, this is a place where humans bring their grief and their hope for peace and renewed connection in the future. And we recycle the bodies and the energy to make that possible. And as she's saying this, when she talks about the grief, I get flooded with just like almost wanting to double over with the severe grief of someone who's lost their greatest loved one. And tears start to come down my face. And then when she talks about the recycling, I get that energy lifting back up off of me again. It was very dramatic. It was wild. And then she says that not all trees are interested in holding their communication in a place where humans can connect to it, but that she loves to have people talk to her and wish more would stop and do that. This was a real surprise for me because I just, this was probably my fault. I never considered if it was hard or challenging or needed to be an intentional act for a tree or a plant to adjust their consciousness to where we would even have the opportunity to connect with it. But that seems to be what she's implying. And the last part that I want to share with you, she starts to talk about how the only thing that matters in life is the quality of your being. And when she talks about that, she floods me with this unbelievably expansive inner peace. So I'm just in this grounded bliss state, sitting there with her, and we kind of meditate together. I guess you would call it meditate together for a while. And then I noticed that I have ants crawling all over me because I haven't moved in 5 or 10 minutes. And she says, look at our ant cousins. They are much like humans, always busy. Their work is good and valued. But imagine how they might be if they simply paused to breathe for a few minutes. And I really felt a little called out in that moment because I had recently been going through a period where I was noticing my default mechanism when I got under stress was to be busy, just take action. And what I really need to do, of course, is to pause. So she was speaking exactly what I needed to be reminded of in that moment. If you had the chance to talk to a tree, what would you ask them? Let me know in the comments or in an email to podcast@sarahcook.com. Thanks for listening.